Do you see here? Hi guys and gals. Well, as you can probably see from the background, I'm out walking in the woods, but I thought I'd go back to the part of the woods where I used to go over my lunch period. You see, I want to see if that circle is still there. Those of you who followed my vlogs for a while know that every season there was either a new circle or a refreshing of the existing one. So it was probably the local, I would call it, pagan religions that would have this circle. And like I say, especially, of course, at the equinox and so on. Halloween was a big one, of course, and so on. So they were always there. They sometimes got pretty roughed up. I mean the circles, not the people. I don't know, maybe some people were wondering what was going on and got a sniff of it or what. I don't know, I really don't. But sometimes they were really impressive. And I had made a study with a YouTuber who's not around anymore, and he was into that type of research, and we had found elements in the circle that were very clear in, I could say, in the literature, like the door pointing to the east and the window and trees and stuff like that. Anyway, so it was pretty clear what was going on, but I never saw it. At one point I thought of putting up one of those cameras that you can put up for checking out for wildlife. But yeah, well, you know what I found out in the meantime? That is illegal. Not the fact of filming people, that's another thing completely. But over here in Switzerland, you're not supposed to put any of those cameras in the woods, without telling the people of the forest. Not the people of the forest, I mean the responsible people for the forest. So let's see. We're coming up to where it should be. Well, looks like there's only remnants. Of course, summer is coming, but right now there's clearly only remnants of it. Yeah, as you can see, it's been pretty much taken apart, and whoever made it, it's a really small one. I mean, I've seen them like taking all the space around here. But what's important also, this is facing, that's east over there. So facing east, I think, or wherever, there should always be an opening. And there is. Anyway, but this is a really, really small one. But as you can see, there's still a lot of bits of wood here and there. But yeah, this is just a shadow of the bigger ones. Maybe the group is smaller, maybe they just, I don't know, it was too much work for having it taken apart. I don't know. You can tell this has not been used for a while. But yeah, so there's still something around here. In that direction, I have walked before because this is, I've mentioned this before, but we're on like so this kind of ditch here, and on each side, but the part that we're on right now is a tumulus, so where there were Celtic burial grounds at one point. I don't know, there's a couple of these around here. There's another one in the woods over there. So it's a kind of an interesting fact. But anyway, having said that, no one has, come up with a skeleton or what lately. Not far in that direction. I won't be going there now. But there is also there's like a Catholic shrine, but it's for Saint Jacques de Compostela. There's a big pilgrimage walk across Europe into that place in Spain, which is actually the place, the part of Spain where my daughter-in-law comes from. But it's a big thing, and there's always these shells that, that corresponds actually to that region and that pilgrimage. And it's interesting because whenever you see Spaniards that come from that part of the world, you will see shells either in their grounds or at home and stuff like that. It's the same, like I say, when I go to my daughter-in-law's, her mother always does this type of thing. So yeah, well, okay. So I know that it's still there. That's interesting on its own. So I'm gonna walk up and see if things have changed. Going up to one of my picnic grounds. And usually, let me see what we're Friday today. So there could be children up there because there's a playground up there. That's always been a pretty cool place. So let's see. Otherwise, I waited until it was dry because it's always very muddy here, and in the winter quite slippery. As you probably recall, I was regularly skating around. Yeah, nice to hear the birds. And sometimes though, children or classes come over and build things. I mean, like this has nothing to do with what we saw before. Don't think so, but you can see there has been some type of structures, but I would say that would be more students, although there is another kind of circle here. Interesting, but the one I was talking about has always been over there. I don't know why. Maybe that's because it was the so-called sacred ground. You know, there's a lot of unknown lore, and there's a lot of in this part of Switzerland and towards the mountains, the Gruyere region, there is a lot of how am I gonna say it? We call it patois, which is they have their own way of speaking of many years ago, but there's a lot of I'm almost going to say sorcery, but it's not the real word actually, but so-called healing actions and stuff like that. There's a lot of magic, put it that way, in the air in those parts. There always has been. Reminds me when I was a kid, we had also in the town next to where we lived a healer, so to say, who got into trouble at one point. I read an article not too long ago, kind of a pseudo biography of him, where he had healed someone, so to say, and they by touching or almost doing, I was going to say chiropractic things. No, he was healing and praying and stuff, and the person sued him. I don't know exactly how that finished, but yeah. So there's a bit of that all over the world, isn't there? One thing in this part of the world, so Switzerland here, they do take care of their forests. It's we've got a lot of employees working for the forestry department that basically their job, as you can see, for example, over there, is just to clean up the forest and keep it healthy. I guess you can do that in a small country like Switzerland, where, I mean, even though we have overall quite a bit of woods, there's certainly not a lot if you would compare, you know, to a place like Canada, the States. Okay, there are children over there at the playground, so I'm just going to go down this way. You can see some. But usually what happens, especially in this time of the year, some kindergarten classes come on over. Oh goodness, 9 minutes something. Okay, well, you know what, I'm going to stop here. Just had a chat and hope you're all well, and have a good weekend with this coming up. We're already Friday. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.